New England in winter. Snow drifts along the highways, small towns tucked between forests and mountains. It's a place where secrets can hide for years. On February 9th, 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student named Maura Murray vanished on a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Her car was found crashed against a tree. The engine was still warm, the driver's seat was empty, and Maura was gone. What happened that night has become one of America's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. A case that's spawned endless theories, online sleuths, and a family's desperate search for answers. Maura Murray was a promising student at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. She was smart, athletic, and driven, a former high school track star with a close-knit family. But beneath the surface, Maura's life was complicated. She juggled classes, a part-time job, and a long-distance relationship. In the weeks before she disappeared, friends noticed she seemed distracted, even troubled. On February 5th, Maura's father, Fred, visited her at UMass. They went car shopping, had dinner, and talked about her future. That night, Maura crashed her father's new car on campus. She was shaken, but not seriously hurt. No one knew it would be the last time Fred would see his daughter. In the days before she vanished, Maura's behavior grew more mysterious. She emailed her professors saying there was a death in the family and she'd be away for a week. But there was no death, her family was alive and well. She packed up her dorm room, removed photos from the walls, and emptied her desk. She searched online for directions to Vermont and New Hampshire, and for places to stay in the White Mountains. On the afternoon of February 9th, Maura withdrew $280 from an ATM, bought alcohol at a nearby liquor store, and emailed her boyfriend, "I love you more, stud. Get that sleep, babe." By 3:30 p.m., she was on the road, alone heading north. Maura's Saturn sedan cut through the snowy back roads of New Hampshire. She passed through small towns, her cell phone silent, her intentions unknown. At 7:27 p.m., a resident of Haverhill heard a loud thump outside her house. Looking out the window, she saw a car off the road, nose against a tree. The driver, presumed to be Maura, was seen walking around the vehicle, but appeared uninjured. A school bus driver stopped to help. Maura declined, saying she'd already called AAA, but there was no cell service in the area. The driver left, promising to call police. By the time officers arrived, Maura was gone. Police found Maura's car locked, the windshield cracked, airbags deployed. Inside, her packed bags, a box of wine, and a rag stuffed into the tailpipe. Footprints led from the car into the snow, but quickly disappeared. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no cell phone, no Maura. In the hours that followed, temperatures dropped below freezing, search dogs lost her scent within a few hundred yards, helicopters scanned the woods, volunteers combed the area, calling her name. But Maura Murray had vanished, leaving behind only questions. When Maura's family learned she was missing, they rushed to New Hampshire. Fred Murray, her father, became the face of the search, pleading for help, refusing to give up. The media descended on Haverhill. Reporters camped outside the crash site. Theories multiplied. Did Maura run away? Was she abducted? Did she meet with foul play, or simply vanish into the wilderness? For her family, the pain was immediate and unending. Every day brought new hope and new heartbreak. In the days after Maura's disappearance, the search effort exploded. Local police, state troopers, and volunteers scoured the woods and back roads around Haverhill. Helicopters buzzed overhead. Search dogs traced her scent, but it vanished at the edge of the road, as if Maura had simply stepped off the map. Fred Murray, Maura's father, led the charge. He handed out flyers, knocked on doors, and pleaded with anyone who might have seen something. The family set up a base at a local motel, turning their grief into determination. But as the hours turned into days, hope began to fade. The snow kept falling, erasing footprints and clues. The silence of the New Hampshire woods grew heavier. The investigation quickly hit roadblocks. There was no sign of a struggle at the crash site. Maura's belongings, her backpack, textbooks, and most of her clothes were still in the car. Her cell phone and bank card were missing. Police found a rag stuffed into the Saturn's tailpipe, a detail that puzzled everyone. Was it an attempt to fix a problem, or a sign of something more sinister? Neighbors reported seeing a young woman near the car, but their stories didn't always match. Some said she seemed dazed. Others thought she was waiting for someone. No one saw her leave. As word spread, the media descended on Haverhill. News vans lined the roads. Reporters interviewed locals, speculated on motives, and broadcast Maura's face across the country. Theories multiplied. Did Maura run away to start a new life? Was she picked up by a stranger? Did she succumb to the elements, or was she the victim of foul play? Online forums lit up with speculation. Amateur sleuths dissected every detail from the ATM footage to the contents of her car. The case became an early internet mystery, drawing in thousands of armchair detectives. Investigators dug into Maura's digital life. Her last cell phone ping was near the crash site, then silence. Her email and bank accounts showed no activity after February 9th. Security footage from the ATM and liquor store showed Maura alone, calm, and deliberate. There were no signs she was being followed, but a cryptic voicemail left on her boyfriend's phone added to the mystery. A woman's voice, sobbing, whispered, "Please help me." Was it Maura or a cruel prank? The call was traced to a nearby calling card, but the source was never found. With so few answers, theories took root. Some believed Maura staged her disappearance, escaping pressure from school and family. Others were convinced she was abducted by a stranger or someone she knew. Rumors swirled about Maura's personal life, a recent car accident, a possible pregnancy, trouble at school. Each detail became a clue, each rumor a new thread in the web of mystery. But for her family, only one thing mattered: bringing Maura home. Weeks turned into months. The snow melted, revealing nothing. The search parties dwindled, but the Murray family never stopped looking. Maura's case became a legend, an unsolved riddle that haunted New England and the internet alike. Every year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, her family returned to the White Mountains, hoping for a break, a clue, a miracle. But the silence remained. As the years passed, Maura Murray's disappearance became one of the first true crime cases to be dissected online. Message boards, blogs, and eventually podcasts and YouTube channels all took up the mystery. The case found a new life in the digital age. Web sleuths pored over police reports, satellite images, and timelines. They mapped out Maura's last known movements, debated the meaning of every clue, and even organized their own searches in the White Mountains. For some, the case became an obsession. For others, it was a way to help a family in need. But the more people looked, the more questions seemed to appear. Over the years, new leads surfaced, some promising, others heartbreaking. Witnesses came forward claiming to have seen Maura hitchhiking or walking along remote roads. Tips poured in from across the country, but none led to Maura. Cadaver dogs alerted in nearby woods. A blue ribbon was found tied to a tree, sparking rumors of a secret code. A piece of fabric, a bone fragment, a buried knife, each discovery brought a flurry of hope, then disappointment. The Murray family followed every lead, no matter how small. They searched abandoned houses, drained ponds, and knocked on doors. But the truth remained out of reach. Maura's story never faded from the public eye. It was featured on 2020, Disappeared, and in best-selling books. Each new documentary brought a wave of attention and a new generation of amateur detectives. In 2017, the Oxygen Network aired a 6-part series, following the Murray family and investigators as they chased down new leads. The show reignited interest, but also brought criticism. Some felt the media attention was exploitative. Others believed it kept the case alive. For Maura's family, every headline was a double-edged sword. Hope for answers, but also a reminder of how much they'd lost. With so many clues and so few answers, theories about Maura's fate multiplied. Some believed she ran away to start a new life, pointing to her packed car, the cash withdrawal, and the email to professors. Others were convinced she was the victim of foul play. The remote crash site, the vanished footprints, and the missing cell phone all suggested someone else might have been involved. A third theory: Maura wandered into the woods, disoriented and freezing, and succumbed to the elements. But despite extensive searches, no trace of her was ever found. Each theory had its champions and its critics. The only certainty was that Maura was gone, and her family was left with a void that could never be filled. Through it all, the Murray family never gave up. Fred Murray became a fixture in the New Hampshire woods, searching year after year. Maura's siblings launched websites, organized vigils, and kept her story in the public eye. Every February, on the anniversary of her disappearance, friends and strangers gathered at the crash site. They lit candles, shared memories, and promised to keep looking. For the Murrays, hope was both a burden and a lifeline. As long as Maura was missing, there was still a chance, however small, that she might come home. Decades have passed, but the vanishing of Maura Murray remains unsolved. Her case is a riddle with no answer, a story that refuses to fade. For some, it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of isolation and the limits of technology. For others, it's a testament to the power of family, community, and the human need for closure. But for everyone who's followed the case, from the snowy roads of New Hampshire to the far corners of the internet, Maura's story is a reminder: some mysteries are never truly solved, but that doesn't mean we stop searching. Even after all these years, the search for Maura Murray has never truly stopped. Every so often, a new lead surfaces, a possible sighting, a tip from a stranger, a piece of evidence uncovered by chance. In 2019, authorities dug up the basement of a nearby house after cadaver dogs alerted to a scent. The world watched as investigators sifted through the dirt, hoping for a breakthrough. But once again, the search came up empty. The New Hampshire State Police continue to review the case. Advances in DNA technology and digital forensics offer hope that one day a new clue might finally bring answers. But for now, the mystery endures. The vanishing of Maura Murray didn't just haunt a family, it changed the way America talks about missing persons. Her case became a blueprint for the digital age of true crime. Online forums, podcasts, and YouTube channels all dissected the evidence, debated theories, and kept the story alive. For better or worse, Maura's disappearance showed the power and the pitfalls of crowdsourced investigation. The internet brought new attention and resources, but also rumors, harassment, and wild speculation. Still, the online community has played a vital role. They've organized searches, raised funds, and kept Maura's name in the headlines long after the news cameras left. For the Murray family, the years have been marked by heartbreak and hope. Fred Murray, now in his 70s, still returns to New Hampshire every year, searching the woods and rivers for any sign of his daughter. Maura's siblings have become advocates for missing persons, pushing for better laws, more resources, and greater awareness. They've spoken at conferences, lobbied lawmakers, and supported other families facing the same nightmare. Their message is simple: never give up. Never stop searching. Never let a loved one's story fade into silence. Maura's case has inspired countless people, families of the missing, amateur detectives, and those who simply refuse to let go of hope. Her story is a reminder that behind every headline is a real person, a family, a life interrupted. Each year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, friends and strangers gather at the crash site. They light candles, share memories, and promise to keep searching. For the Murrays, these moments are bittersweet, a testament to love and to loss. The White Mountains hold their secrets, but as long as Maura's story is told, she is never truly gone. The vanishing of Maura Murray is more than a mystery. It's a call to action. It's a story about the power of family, the strength of community, and the enduring hope that one day the truth will come to light. As the years pass, the questions remain, but so does the promise. Maura will not be forgotten. Her story will be told, her memory honored, and her family's search will go on. If you have any information about the disappearance of Maura Murray, contact the New Hampshire State Police. Even the smallest detail could help bring her home. Decades have passed since Maura Murray vanished on that cold February night, but her story continues to echo through the White Mountains and across the internet. For her family, every day is a reminder of what's missing: a daughter, a sister, a friend. The case remains open. Detectives still review tips, and the Murray family still hopes for a break. For the true crime community, Maura's disappearance is a puzzle that refuses to be solved, a haunting reminder that some answers remain just out of reach. The Murray family's message is simple: never give up hope, never stop searching, and never let a loved one's story fade into silence. If you have any information about Maura Murray's disappearance, no matter how small, please contact the New Hampshire State Police at 1-800-525-5555. If you or someone you know is missing, or if you're searching for answers, there are resources and people who care. Reach out, share your story, and remember, you are not alone. For more information on missing persons and how you can help, visit the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at missingkids.org. The Vanishing of Maura Murray is a story of heartbreak and hope, of questions without answers, and of a family's unbreakable love. As we remember Maura, let us also remember the thousands of others who are still missing, and the families who wait for them. May their stories be told. May their memories be honored, and may the search for truth never end.